Amin Elhassan in with us all show today. Grateful for his presence. Before we get to other things, an article in The Undefeated about white basketball players, white American basketball players in the NBA. Let's do a stat of the day here real quick. Give me the stat of the day, the short one, please, the stat of the day intro.
Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day, it is the start of the day.
Thank you for the short one, Mike. I appreciate that. Which stat of the day do you like better here, Stugotz?
Okay.
Andrew Miller and Corey Kluber have now combined for 38 playoff innings, 53 strikeouts, and an ERA under half a run.
Wow.
In 38 playoff innings. Mm-hmm. Or the Cubs have not scored a World Series run since 1908.
Second one.
Kluber last night, that's the one time they're going to have a pitching advantage when he's pitching. That's the one time a starting pitching advantage.
Well, it's maybe equal when it's John Lester going against him or Jake Arrieta.
No, I mean you have to have that one last night when Kluber's pitching, and you saw how he looked.
It was so impressive to see because they obviously have a really good lineup. They're in the World Series. It was knee-buckling type stuff. Like, it was really impressive where Cubs batters were just fooled. They weren't even swinging. They were just eating it, like taking their medicine and just walking directly back to the dugout. There was nothing they could do for the first 4 or 5 innings. It was incredible to watch. He was awesome.
Texter writes in, that's the short one?
You don't get the show.
So, I mean, like this article in The Undefeated, where are all the white American NBA players? Jay Bilas did not like that question when we asked it to him before an NCAA final, not a Final Four. It was a bad time to ask him that question, but we were sort of asking him why. We were asking him the question. Actually, I remember we were talking about would Michael Beasley and Tyler Hansborough have been viewed differently given their college resumes if Michael Beasley had been white and Tyler Hansborough had been black? Would they, because Tyler Hansborough was the College Player of the Year, and Jay Bilas got very angry.
If someone with Tyler Hansborough's resume were black, do you think people might say he's unathletic or he's not athletic enough?
Dan, no offense, but this is stupid. I mean, all due respect. I mean, if you guys want to talk about this, I'm here to talk about whatever you want outside of this. This is stupid.
We don't have to talk about anything, but it's not stupid. And you can't start a sentence. Jay, you can't start a sentence with no offense and then say this is stupid.
Okay, then take offense. It's stupid, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. You want to talk about something else?
No, thank you. Good talking to you.
You too.
Jay Bilas of ESPN.
As much as I disagreed with Bilas and still do, take offense. It's stupid.
It's great.
It's
great line.
Great line.
Then take offense. A great line.
Awesome.
Where are all the white American NBA players? What did you make of this article? A lot of players quoted. J.J. Redick was really insightful during it.
Yeah. The article is by Mark Spears for The Undefeated. It's a really interesting question. It's something that conversations that we have behind the scenes as basketball people. It's funny. A lot of times, white talent evaluators are the hardest on white players, the most skeptical of white players. But the things that I really liked about this, first of all, I think they were honest answers, and they're answers that those guys are prepared to give, right? It's hard to ask Doug McDermott, who's still trying to make a way for himself in this league, to think of huge social implications of why there aren't more white players.
J.J. Redick was very comfortable talking about it because he's got tenure.
He's got tenure, but also I think J.J. Redick has lived, right? He's more worldly. He's been around, and so beyond just he's comfortable with where he is in life, he's thought about things and he's been exposed to more, I think, than a lot of these other guys.
If I may, just real quick, because I'm getting buried via text message.
You really are.
I'm sorry, Cubs fans.
Oh.
You scored a World Series run in 1945. That's the last time you scored a World Series run. My bad.
I still like the second step better.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
The Cubs have still not scored a World Series run since 1945.
You see what I'm talking about, this fan base? You see what I'm talking about now? You're starting to get some of it, man.
Well, I mean, I'm glad the course of history has changed now. Now that we know that, we'll never be the
same. That's much better. Guys, Cubs fans, you're slightly 3 decades less of a loser, but still 7 decades worth of loser. My bad.
Well done. But yes, going back to, so J.J. Redick had a lot of great quotes in this. But one of my favorites was when asked, the question was basically asking him about what's it like to be a white American, right, in the NBA. That's not the right question.
All right, hold on a second.
You've lost your place.
That's my fault. I think I threw him off because Cubs fans rattled us, and I think I threw the whole thing off because this can be dangerous territory. What are you laughing about there, Mike?
Poor Amin.
I mean, I'm
trying to be serious today.
That's such a hopeless feeling.
Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. I got it.
You sure you should have highlighted it?
You asked to go to this.
Yes, I did. Has it been hard for you to discuss the racial tension with your African American teammates and how to react as a team to the playing of the national anthem? Right. That's the question. Now no one's serious.
No.
Now I feel like Pablo. Now I feel like Pablo.
Go ahead. We're all listening.
I'm going back to bed.
Look, man, the show went into the quicksand because you weren't prepared for something that you asked for us to talk about.
Yeah.
That's what just happened.
Let's go back to Phil Collins.
No.
I want to hear what he said.
Go ahead now. You might as well give the audience whatever it is that you found while thumbing endlessly through your paperwork.
Yeah, you got to put a bow on the segment, man.
All right. So he goes on. It's a long answer, but the line that I like, he says, it's interesting to me how we, meaning white America, can pick and choose the parts of black culture that are acceptable and are not acceptable. It's interesting to me as a whole, that's what we choose to do. And this is something that I kind of talk about a lot, right? You know, it's a nice, fun bit when I talk about Teen Wolf, but that's what it is so much in our popular culture and really in society is about what parts of black culture do we like, and that's cool, and what part, no, not so much. And then the parts that we like, we kind of like it better when someone white is portraying it. And so, Mike, I don't know if you have it queued up. We're going to give them a bonus.
A bonus black in my day.
Wow.
A bonus black in my day, ladies and gentlemen.
Time for the segment that reminds Dan and Stugotz how out of touch they are. Here is Amin Elhassan with Black in My Day.
So we're talking about co-opting black culture and then having it portrayed by someone white to make it a lot safer, give you a little bit of that danger. Like, I don't know where he's going with this, but still know that it's not going to go off the rails. Kind of like going to an amusement park. You like the thrill, but you know this thing is not going to fall off and fall apart, right?
Eminem,
Elvis, long list, Justin Timberlake, right? All of these guys, and I'm not debating their talent. They're all talented, but part of the reason of their success is based in I'm white, I'm doing this black thing that you kind of like, but you're not so sure, but because I'm white, it makes you feel a lot safer. And that doesn't just go to music, it also extends to motion pictures. And so the example I always like to give is, the story is usually white guy, hangs out with black people, does, kind of black things, confronted by white society, usually in the form of a lovely young lady who falls in love with him and then attempts to civilize him. Basically, you can leave that stuff behind now. The best example of this, of course, is Tarzan. Tarzan, right? So, Tarzan, Jane, Tarzan, Jane meets Tarzan, he hangs out with gorillas. Well, of course, Jane would never date the gorillas. But she kind of likes Tarzan. He's different from the guys that she knows, including her fiance who's on this safari trip to Africa with them. Why? I don't know why. Anyways, so Jane and Tarzan strike up a thing, and they eventually fall in love, but Jane civilizes Tarzan. Okay, you've grown up, you've matured, you can leave behind these things that you learned over there with those people. It's the same story over and over again.
Dan Lebatard.
Here's a texter. Why do you poop on us, Dan? Any little bit of success a local team of ours has and you poop on us. I wonder, were you like this with your parents when you went on vacation as a kid, just nitpicking every little flaw at Disney World?
Stugotz.
Actually, my mom loves to tell this story. I was on It's a Small World, which is obviously magical and great, and all I was saying to my mom is, what's next? What's next? I was 38 years old.
This is the Dan Lebatard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Ethan Strauss going to join us in just a minute. Covers the Warriors for ESPN, ESPN.com. Coach K going to join us in a half hour, noon Eastern. They will both join us here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. The New York Giants have released kicker Josh Brown. Team president John Morris said, "We believe we did the right thing at every juncture in our relationship with Josh. Our beliefs, our judgments, and our decisions were misguided. We accept that responsibility." World Series Game 2, Cubs at Indians tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Indians lead that series 1-0. And finally, Ice Cube will star in Disney's new adaptation of Oliver Twist. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
The praise is pouring in for Amin Elhassan for that last segment. OMG, you say all the time, Amin makes the show smarter, yet there continues to be exactly zero evidence to support your statement. I've been listening since 2008. That's the worst segment I've ever heard.
By far the worst segment they've ever heard.
We're about superlatives over here, man.
There aren't a lot for that last segment, although I did like your Tarzan point.
See?
At Lebatard Show, but I'm not the ally you want on this because people get very mad as evidence here.
I mean, I don't know. I'm getting good feedback. A lot of people saying I never thought of it that way.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Can we go one day without a damn racial discussion? Holy crap. I get enough of it elsewhere. Man, we have had a month where we haven't talked race.
Hold on. He gets enough of it elsewhere? Where do you work, my man? The NAACP? Like, come on. You get enough of it elsewhere? Really? Really?
We've talked precious little race this month. Precious little.